we fall asleep at night, an amazing transformation occurs in all of our designs, because we move from a 9-centered form, this is the normal human design awake chart, and we devolve back to our mammalian roots into a 5-centered design when we're asleep and horizontal. Now, why do we devolve into a 5-centered form? Well, I'm going to be bringing you lots of videos about the sleep domain and what all of these different elements mean. This is just an overview video of the structure of the sleep chart. But in short, the program, without anthropomorphizing that, puts us to sleep because it's a way to condition us without the mind being involved, without other distractions being involved. And the sleeping domain is actually one of the deepest conditioning mechanisms that are ranged against us. There are many types of conditioning mechanisms, ranging from the transiting planets to connectivity with other people through the aura, through small group pentas, through larger group wars, and individually through the sleeping mechanism. So in terms of an overview of what this chart represents, well, if you look at your foundation chart and then look at your sleep chart, the first thing you will notice is that you will most likely be changing to a different type when you are asleep. The statistics of sleeping designs really are the inverse of waking designs. We know that 1% of waking design are reflectors, whereas in the sleeping domain, the overwhelming majority of people will have some kind of reflector design, and having definition, like in this particular chart, is actually quite rare. And the significance of that, again, I'll explain in other videos. You will also notice activations in the sleeping chart that do not exist in your waking chart, and this is because of the basis of the calculation for the sleeping foundation design. Instead of a calculation which is a juxtaposition of personality and design 88 degrees of the sun apart in the waking design, well, the juxtaposition in the sleeping design is 88 degrees, but it's now 88 degrees of the moon, not the sun. So that is approximately 7 days before birth. The design of the sleeping chart is calculated, and of course that will yield potentially different activations in the sleeping chart that do not exist when you wake up again. And it's all part of the conditioning that you're designed to go through, or this person is designed to go through, relative to their waking design. The program's goal is to keep us homogenized and aligned to the efficacy of mind being our mental authority. And the reason the program ultimately wants us in the thrall of mind is that we are easily controlled. We can be moved from birth to death, homogenized, moved through the conveyor belt of incarnation and death very, very seamlessly from the program's perspective. But of course, this is a dualistic program, and in the same design, it gives us the keys for being awake and outside the effect of the conditioning program. And again, that's not part of what this video's about. So the calculation is 88 degrees of the moon, and looking at the basics of this sleep chart, again, the bottom left will always be the fundamentals of who that person is, the name, the birth date with local time, birthplace, and so on. And it's from that point that this chart is calculated using this lunar 88 degrees calculation to bring the design elements here. And of course, being a 5-centered matrix, there are a limited number of gates available in the sleeping domain. It's a 15-gate 5-center matrix, so there's only a possibility of a small fraction of the actual personality activations that are in the waking design to come through in the sleeping domain. And really, this is a very, very tenuous link between the sleeping domain and the waking domain. The program wants to give us this illusion that it's us in the dream, but it's actually very, very small fragments of that. And well, we're not actually conscious of the dreams despite what you think, and there is no mind in the sleeping design. If we look at the structure of the body graph here, you can see there is a head there, but there are no centers in it. You can see that there is no emotional center, and you can see also that there is no ego. And if you look at the design of mammals, you will see that they have an identical structure. So this is really our mammalian root coming through in terms of this sleeping domain. And you might be saying, well, what's he talking about? I can vividly remember my dreams. Well, you remember your dreams when you wake up. And that is because there is a chemical translation process going on between the sleeping and the waking design. So you will get fragments of memories that are imprinted as chemistry. That is actually what you're remembering in the dream, not some lucid mindscape that you think you are connected to in terms of the sleeping domain. So this body graph is representing for this person the available activations within this 15-gate matrix relative to their birth date, time and place. And this is what's yielded this sleeping design. So we can see we have a sleeping generator, and we use this word generator loosely because there is no inner authority in terms of the sleeping domain. You have no control over where the program takes you in terms of that sleeping domain, but generator is simply the terminology here that the sacral center is active. So this is someone that has very active, energized dreams. It's not the full sacral center as it would be in the waking design, otherwise this person would be absolutely energetically depleted when they wake up in the morning. The sacral's active to give the illusion of consistent energy in this dream, and it's active through this rhythm channel. The channel names also don't exist in terms of the sleeping domain. It's a juxtaposition of two gates here. We'll call it the channel of rhythm just for recognition purposes, and that brings definition here to this identity center through this 15th gate. The gate names, the 5, the 15, these are different to the waking domain. So the 5th gate is the gate of time in the sleeping design, and the 15th gate is the gate of chaos. And again, this is alluding to the dreamscape that this person is designed to consistently go through. This is a consistent design in terms of this rhythm. So every night when they go to sleep, they are going to be subject to this particular energy imprint, plus the sleeping transit that I will cover in other videos. Now, there are no energy circuits in the sleeping design. You can see it's not a closed loop system because the 49 is going out to nowhere, the 22 is going out to nowhere, the 17 is going out to nowhere. An energy circuit is a closed loop pressurized circuit. So the sleeping activations belong to one of 3 particular domains, and these are called the light field, the earth plane and the demon realm. And again, I will be covering what they actually mean in another sleeping video. We're staying here on the basics of the introduction for now. But within each of those 3 headings that I've just articulated to you, you will see which gates and lines in this person's design belong to which of the domains. So we have this triple 20th gate belonging to the light field, we have the 38th gate in the demon realm, and we have the activation of the 15 and the 5 in the earth plane. And these all bring particular qualities to the dreamscape sleeping experience for this person that will impact when they wake up. And you can also see another representation of these sleeping activations in this tabular vertical column here. And to the right of that, well, this is alluding to what I mentioned earlier, the fact that there is a chemical translation process that goes on when we transition from the sleeping form to the waking form. And you might be wondering, well, if the sleeping domain is there to condition me and put me in the thrall of mind, or how can it be one of the deepest conditioning mechanisms? Because my waking design is a 64 gate matrix and this sleeping design is only a 15 gate matrix, which means there are 49 gates that the program is not touching. Well, that's not true, because each gate belongs to a particular chemical codon family. So if there is a sleeping activation, let's take the 5th gate here, this particular gate belongs to the codon through the amino acid threonine. Which other gates belong to that? Well, you can see there, when this person wakes up, anything that has affected that 5th gate is also going to affect the 9, the 11, and the 26. Even though those gates are not even in the sleeping matrix. This is the stealth conditioning that happens in terms of the sleeping domain. And in other videos I'm going to take you through all of this in a lot of detail, but there you have a quick overview of the structure of the sleeping chart.